waiting for the meteor. This clock is up, coming up at the door. Love is keeping coming, make a sound.
Hello and welcome to the final episode of the series Chaydium Arcadium, where I, Chay, have been covering all of the Red Hot Chili Peppers album Chaydium Arcadium on the bass. This is the song Death of a Martian, and it is the 28th, I think, song. Yeah, 28th song on the album. This song is about Flea's dog, actually, his dog named Martian. And if you listen to some of the lyrics, like chase lizards, bark at donkeys, like admittedly the imagery of an actual extraterrestrial Martian chasing lizards and barking at donkeys would be funny if an alien barked. I suppose that's an amusing image. But it's a dog. It's Flea's dog. Oh, bless him. I know. It's an emotional song, I'm sure. It's also got a polyrhythm in the bass and the drum part, which I'm going to discuss today. The usual thing, not the usual thing, but often what Flea and bassists do in funk and rock is they'll play the root note of the chord, so the lowest note on the bass, in time with the bass drum or the kick drum, and they'll play the higher note, whether it be an octave or a third or a fifth or something, in time with the snare. and that would be like boom boom pa, boom boom pa. Like Danny California is a really good example of this. But this song uses a sort of pattern based approach, both in terms of both in verse and in the pre-chorus, where the bass is effectively doing its own rhythm, where it goes out of time with that kick snare thing that the drums are doing, and then comes back in at the end, like it loops around. It's just musical maths, basically, right? You're doing a boom boom ba boom boom ba boom ba boom boom ba boom boom ba boom ba, and it lines back up. It's similar to the song Let Down by Radiohead, where that uses a polyrhythm where the lead guitar is playing in 5/4, but the drums and rest of the instrumentation are in 4/4. It does eventually loop back around, and I just think that's a cool quirk. Like, as somebody who can appreciate some nice musical maths now and then, it's not quite math rock, it's not quite to that extent where you're doing all kinds of... Well, you don't need a calculator, right? You can do it reasonably intuitively. You don't need to write it down. The verse is... the usual. Sorry, not the verse. The chorus is more of the usual. It's root notes with sliding bits in between, but cool sliding bits in between. It's nice to play. Credit to it. Just because it's the usual doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad bit of the song. Like, often that's what the bass needs to be doing, and it works well. The outro to this song, while Anthony Kiedis is reading this long poem, which is weirdly catchy and really nice addition. I think it works well, actually. Flea's playing these big improvisation parts around certain notes. I'm not super keen on that kind of improvisation. I feel like when I do it, I just would rather do the improvisation around a certain set of notes, sort of 10th, 11th and 13th fret on the E string. I don't know, I just feel like it's a case where I want to keep it simple. Just spamming your fingers all over the place on the frets and the strings doesn't really, in my opinion, add to the song all that much. I think it should have been kept simple, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm sorry to end this on a negative note, but there you go. Regardless, I still think this is an excellent song and a great album closer, without a doubt. The poem bit at the end, fantastic. 7 out of 10 for the bass score and 8 out of 10 for difficulty. The odd rhythms can really take some getting used to, and the chorus bits, with even though it's the usual, it's quite a difficult example of the usual, because I always forget and do the wrong bit because it's got deviations on it. Anyway, you can see in the video what it's doing. Probably should have done that all along, actually. Yeah, I'm sorry that these have been a little bit rushed, these last 12. It's a really long album, and I set myself quite a task in doing this. Like, I underestimated how difficult the commentary side of this would be. When I first had this idea, I was sort of driving in my car and I was thinking about certain songs that I liked and I knew, and I was coming up with opinions about them. I just didn't realise that I would have to come up with, like, I don't have opinions about all of the songs. I've had to try and come up with them, like, really analyse and drill down into what they're doing and give some insight into it, but sometimes I just want to listen to the music. So I totally understand if there's people out there who just watched the music bit and didn't watch these commentary bits. When I rewatch them, I don't rewatch the commentary bits, probably in large part just because it's too cringy for me. But there you go. I'm glad I did this. It feels like I'm sort of sprinting a little bit at the end, but life is starting to return back to normal now, post-lockdown things, and I'm a lot busier with my work and stuff. So this has definitely been a really good project to focus my mind, and I'm happy I did it. I'm even happy that I did the commentary bits, even though I found it to be a little bit harder. Like in a weird way, like talking about these songs, I find harder than learning them in some cases. Not all of them. Like If, that's way harder to play than it is to talk about. It's only 2 minutes long. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed this. I don't think I'll be doing anything like this in the near future anyway. It depends. We'll see. Hope you enjoyed, and see you all. Goodbye.